Okay, so this is a fun, frolicking book, and I'm going just to read you um, what she says in the note, and then I'm going to read you just the first teasing page. And since this book is so short, and I'm on page 83, that will probably be your book review for this book, which is, I know, ironic. I've never done anything like that before. Usually I share bits and pieces of the book. There is so much comic relief in this book that I want you to read it. I want you to feel the emotions I felt reading this book. But let's go over here to Dear Reader. In a previous life, before the time of Plum, I wrote 12 short romance novels, red hot screwball comedies, each and every one of them. 9 of the stories were originally published by Love Swept line between the years 1988 and 92. All immediately went out of print and could be only found at used bookstores and yard sales. I'm excited to tell you that those 9 stories are now being re-released by HarperCollins. Back to the Bedroom is presented here in the almost original form. I've done only minor editing to correct some embarrassing bloopers missed the first time around. I lived in Northern Virginia when I wrote Back to the Bedroom. My children were young, and we spent a lot of time visiting Washington, D.C. museums and wandering through the historic neighborhoods. One day, while strolling Capitol Hill, I came upon 2 townhouses that captured my imagination. The houses were totally different. A birthday cake of a house and a bran muffin of a house, and yet they shared the common wall. I wondered about the people who lived inside those houses, and eventually the houses inspired Back to the Bedroom. Back to the Bedroom is a story of a young woman with the soul of a birthday cake living in a bran muffin house, and a nice-looking guy with substance of a bran muffin living in a birthday cake. They share some misadventures, some romantic moments, some misunderstandings, and ultimately they turn it into a wedding cake. And for the Plum fans, you'll be interested to find out this was the first of 4 romances to feature Eloise Hawkins, the prototype for Grandma Mazer, Janet Evanovich. Now here's the first description you'll get, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of a rating already for this book. Want to get married? I'd soon get boiled in oil. Nothing personal, she replied. And after everything I've done for you, you won't do this one small favor for me. Okay, so you won't marry me. How about taking me to the concert? She looked skeptical. You really want to go to the concert? With all my heart, I can't think of anything else I'd rather do than go to your concert. I find that hard to believe. Actually, it's my second choice, he admitted. I didn't think you'd actually go for the first. Kate rolled her eyes and tried to leave, but he took her arm. Wait, I swear, I really want to go to the concert. It was the truth. He needed to know more about her. He was besotted. He wasn't even sure that he'd been joking when he asked her to marry him. I love cello concerts, he told her earnestly. How many celli will be playing? It's a chamber music group, and I'm the only cellist. That's even better. I love chamber music. Kate suspected he didn't even know chamber music from white bread. She thought he looked like the type to nod off and fall asleep in his seat 5 minutes after the lights were dimmed, and she found out that prospect devilishly appealing. Now, if you liked that tidbit of comedy, you are going to enjoy this book because it has so much comic relief, and there's so much in the first 83 pages. I have to stifle my laughter sometimes because it's that good. So make sure that if you haven't picked up this book, which is a 10, based on the first 83 pages alone, I don't even have to find out if these 2 wind up happily ever after, which they probably will, because all books work out right, just like the Hallmark movies, and even Lifetime movies. But this couple here is hilarious, and they have this event where a helicopter crashes through the roof. And he tries to help her fix it. And it reminds me of a little bit of Barefoot in the Park with Jane Fonda and Peter, I can't think of his name, but I have the movie in the front room, and I found it at Goodwill after I gave away my copy and never got it back. But anyway, because I loaned it out for somebody, I thought, oh, they'll give it back to me. Never happened. Anyway, long story short, this is a great book. You won't regret it. It's not going to be a waste of your time. It gets a 10 too. So there's your first 2 book reviews of 2021. I know, it's amazing, right?